Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are slipping this morning, with S&P futures down 0.3%, Dow futures down 0.45%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.04%. While markets are moving lower, benchmark Treasury yields have slid as low as 1.5% as traders continue to pull back longer-term inflation expectations. Popular trades influenced more heavily by inflation are in retreat after the Fed signaled it was preparing for earlier interest rate increases in order to rein in speculation that price pressures could become too much. Markets that have benefited the most from the reopening are seeing a pullback, particularly commodities, which continue to slide today. Copper is on course for its worst week since the start of the pandemic. Elsewhere in markets, oil slid lower for a second day, with Brent crude dropping from this week's 2018 high. The dollar's advance this week has made commodities that are priced in the U.S. more expensive, which has continued to drive declines. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, the markets are rather quiet this morning. They're obviously indicating a lower opening as the market continues to reel from the Fed's recent announcement. SPOs are kind of ticking up a little bit right now, but they're still lower. They're still down by 0.40%. Today's a triple witching day, so it can create some volatility. It's possible. I see that the European Union has approved travel to the U.S. I see that the European Union has approved travel for U.S. citizens into the EU without restrictions upon entering. That's a positive. The recent unwinding of a lot of these inflation trades should really start to boost equity prices in the near term. I look at the raw materials. You talk about copper, and I need to really compare that against those April lows that the copper had, because I think it comes back. I think it comes back strong. And I think that this is a momentary lull. We're not out of it yet, but it's momentary, it's temporary, and that there's going to be, some good bargains to pick up stocks at these prices, if you look out a month or two.
Moving into earnings to watch today, Bill, tell us what we're seeing.
Look at Adobe, ADBE, Apple, David, Boy, Edward. They delivered a 22-cent beat on higher revenue. They're seeing their Q3 EPS to be around $3. Consensus here was $2.89. That's an 11-cent uptick. You see the stock, it's trading up 3.38% or $18 this morning. Smith & Wesson, this is the gun manufacturer, SWBI, Sam William Boy, India. These guys delivered a 68-cent beat on higher revenue and announced a 50 million share repurchasing program. I'm looking at the stock. It's up 5% this morning, so that was real positive. U.S. Steel, that's ticker X as an X-ray, they delivered a 41-cent beat on higher revenue. They're expecting next quarter to come in at $3.08 per share, which is above the current estimates. And they feel that it's going to be due to rising steel prices and strong demand. So that's a net positive for U.S. Steel. And it's also a positive for other raw material stocks as well. U.S. Steel is up 0.17% this morning. So, that's a nice, these are some nice earnings reports we saw.
Any insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Well, we got FedEx coming out next week. I think they're coming out Thursday after the close. They're priced for a 6% move. Estimates there are $4.94. Nike, they're also reporting next week after the close on Thursday. They're priced for a 5% move, and their estimate is 50 cents per share. Remember, they're going to be hit by that weakness that occurred in China. Remember the China boycott that we talked about in April? This is going to materially impact their results come June. So this is June. Earnings are coming out. You know what? If you look at the stock, it's traded down from a high of 140 down to 128. So it's kind of priced in, but it could still move lower. their estimates are for 50 cents for Nike. But another one that's coming out, I think it's coming out Wednesday, is KB Homes. That's ticker KBH, Kilo Boy Henry. They're priced for a 9% move. Their EPS is $1.31. You saw what the other home builders did early this week when Lennar released their earnings. They came out with a stellar earnings report, and these guys move together. So expect a nice strong earnings report from KB Homes when they report their earnings on Wednesday. It's priced for a 9% move.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
It's light. Calendar is light. What can I say? 1 p.m. there's the Baker Hughes rig count. This is interesting because it's about the shale producers. You'll be able to see if these guys are adding wells, but it might not really be indicative because from my understanding that some of the oil companies are preparing to shut down some wells only for the fact there's a tropical storm that's picking up some momentum in the Gulf. But the Baker Hughes rig count number is coming out today at 1 p.m.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Palantir, ticker PLTR. The company has been contracted by the Federal Aviation Administration for $18.4 million to provide data analytics tools that will help to advance the agency's modernization objectives for aviation safety. Palantir's share price is up 0.51% in pre-market. Some acquisition news. Citel Group is acquiring Sykes Enterprise, ticker SYKE, for $2.2 billion. CAI International, ticker CAI, is up 45% in pre-market after agreeing to be acquired by Mitsubishi in a $1.1 billion equity deal. Accenture, ticker ACN, has agreed to acquire Exton Consulting for undisclosed terms. Accenture's share price is up 0.43% in pre-market. eBay, ticker EBAY, has confirmed to sell its South Korea business to a local consortium that owns both Emart and Naver for $3.1 billion. eBay share price is down 0.02%. SPAC acquisition, specifically, an agricultural tech company, Local Bounty, has agreed to go public through a merger with the SPAC Leo Holdings, ticker LIII, valued at $1.1 billion. Leo Holdings share price is up 1.73% in pre-market. In other news, BioNTech, ticker BNTX, has begun a phase 2 cancer vaccine trial on melanoma patients based on a successful phase 1 that met primary endpoints. BioNTech's share price is down 0.42% in pre-market. News on Microsoft, ticker MSFT. Microsoft is planning to expand its data center operations in China in a bid to boost its service capacity across Asia. The tech giant is looking to establish 4 new data centers, adding to the 6 that are already operational in that country. Microsoft share price is down 0.11% in pre-market. In other news, BP, ticker BP, is nearing a deal to acquire solar power projects in Spain from conglomerate Grupo Jorge for $476 to $586 million. BP's share price is down 2.58% in pre-market. Lastly for me, news on Ford, ticker F. Ford has agreed to acquire Electrify, a charging management and fleet monitoring software company. The company will be integrated into Ford Pro and is part of Ford's plan to invest in more than $30 billion by 2023 in electric vehicles. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Oh, well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sectors for events and for industry groups. That way I can really, monitor the news quickly and I can decide whether, a news story is going to create price action or not. I look at my FANG alert, and one of the things that I noticed is that, these Silicon Valley firms are really, they've really fallen out of favor in the nation's capital as the Democrats and Republicans are really working together to rein in these big tech companies, and they're curbing their market power. Apparently, next week, the U.S. House Judiciary Committee is going to be voting on a package of 6 antitrust bills, including several that are targeting, the big power of these big tech firms. Amazon, I see Amazon Web Services said that they've been selected as the official cloud partner of RACE, R-A-C-E, which is Ferrari, the car manufacturer. Google, that's ticker GOOG, antitrust regulators are set to open up formal investigations into their digital advertising practices. Tesla, not good news here. The National Highway and Safety Administration is reviewing 30 incidents that have yielded 10 deaths since 2016. And Twitter, that's ticker TWTR, Tom William, Tom Richard. Police in India have summoned their top officials in the country to answer allegations that the firm failed to stop the spread of a video that allegedly incited violence in the country. Going over to my Dow Jones 30 alert, earnings are out for Nike at ticker NKE. They're going to be out next week. Recent weakness in China is probably going to be weighing on those shares until that report comes out. BA, that's ticker, it's Boeing. Apple, Boeing and Airbus are really preparing for an anticipated spike in new orders. Intel, that's ticker INTC, India, Nancy, Tom, Charlie. There are concerns that Intel's notebook CPU market share is going to be a lot weaker in the future than it is now. I noticed one of the brokers actually came out and downgraded the shares this morning. And Chevron, ticker CHV. Chevron and Occidental said on Thursday that they're withdrawing and their staff and implementing storm precautions in the Gulf because of a tropical storm that is brewing. I'm looking at the airline stocks. I'm seeing some strength in these airline stocks. They're all up. Why? Because the EU is opening the borders to U.S. travels without quarantine restrictions. That's a big positive. That's why you're seeing these things starting to move higher. In terms of my option headlines, here's something that's kind of interesting. Sting, the ticker STNG, Sam, Tom, Nancy, Grace. It's Scorpio Tankers. The president of the company announced that he bought 1,000 calls of the Jan 22, it's a 23 strike. I mean, these guys are a shipping, firm. They ship oil, to the Gulf, through, to the U.S., through Saudi Arabia, and they're often used as storage facilities. You look at the stock, it's trading at 22, and this guy bought 1,000 of the 23 calls, the January 2022 calls. I mean, just on the premium alone, it doesn't make sense. So it has to be a shorter term move, but that's really interesting. I haven't seen that reported before, but I'm keeping an eye on STNG. Events that are happening today, Keurig Dr. Pepper, that's ticker KDP, Kilo David Paul. They're holding a shareholders meeting today at 11 a.m. Grubhub, that's ticker GRUB, Grace Richard under Boy. They're having their shareholders meeting that starts today at 2 p.m. In terms of guidance, let's just start with Adobe, ADBE, Alpha David, Boy Edward. Their announced guidance is $3. The consensus on the street is $2.89 for the next quarter. So that's a real positive. And US Steel is ticker X. They're anticipating Q2 non-GAAP EPS of $3.08. You look at the earnings estimates right now, and they're out there for $2.67. So they're going to definitely be raised. One interesting one to note is GlaxoSmithKline. That's ticker GSK, Grace Sam Kilo. Now, these guys are set to lay out their strategy and their financial and growth outlook and review their market pipeline for new drugs when they deliver its investor update on June 23rd. I told you what they're going to do. You know the date. It's going to be very interesting. GSK should be in a positive trend going into that meeting. But that's what I'm seeing from my news events this morning, Shane.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking eBay, ticker EBAY. And this is just off of the news that they've confirmed to sell their South Korea business to the eMart Naver owner, $3.1 billion. It's a pretty good sales price, and they've been moving back and forth. And pre-market, they were up, they're down a little bit, and now they're basically flat. But I think that's a good thing because I think that means we can get in at a low share price, and it'll go higher. I really expect because this will be positive news for them. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with FedEx. That's ticker FDX, Frank David, X-Ray. It's an earnings play, kind of. The earnings are next week. They're actually Thursday. That's 6 days out. It's priced for a 6% move. I mean, I see that the brokers are positive on the stock. Oil has started to retreat today, so that's a positive. But the airline stocks overall are positive today. They're a shipper, but they do operate a boatload of planes. So I think you're going to see some gains in FedEx today, Frank David, X-Ray, and that's my pick for today.
Moving into what's hot off the press, this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak. That'll be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Bill, seeing our headline stream in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Forrester Group, that's ticker FOR, Frank Oscar Richard. Citi just opened a catalyst watch on the stock, or buy catalyst watch on the stock ahead of earnings. I find that to be really interesting this morning. GE, they are going to be doing a reverse stock split. It's going to be a 1-for-8 reverse stock split, and they're looking they're looking to do this as of the close of trading on July 30th.
AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. It says they're welcoming court ruling on supply of COVID-19 vaccines to Europe. The European Commission had requested 120 million vaccine doses cumulatively by the end of June 2021 and a total of 300 million doses by the end of September 2021. So the judge ordered delivery of 80.2 million doses by September 27th. And to date, the company has supplied more than 70 million, and they're welcoming the rest.
Lennar, that's ticker LEN, the home builder. Larry, Edward, Nancy, JP Morgan just upgraded the stock and said the transformation is not reflected in the shares. Remember, KB Homes is reporting next week, KBH. NVIDIA, that's ticker NVDA. Nancy, Victor, David, Apple. B of A thinks that they're going to see data center sales triple by 2025.
Oh, they've been a monster.
Here's one on Hasbro, ticker HAS. Toy shortages threaten U.S. holiday season due to China shipping woes.
KB Homes, ticker KBH, announced openings of Prairie Village Villas and Indigo at Shadow Mountain. Just Energy, ticker JENGQ, announced that Texas legislation may actually help the company recover $100 million.
Okay, this is interesting. We just passed that June 19th as a holiday. The federal holiday was just signed into law by President Biden. Well, the SEC says that its Edgar system is going to be closed today for June 19th. So you're not going to see any filings today.
Orphazyme, ticker ORPH, has sunk 54% in pre-open trading after announcing it has received a complete response letter from the U.S. FDA following its review of a new drug application for a heat shock protein amplifier. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm saying today, Shane.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind, you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for free trials a day. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Thursday. I had Baidu, ticker BIDU. It opened at $184.44 and went as high as $186.55 by the late morning for a 1.14% gain. From there, the stock had some highs and some lows, but ultimately trading higher than the opening at $185.56. So it was a good trade for us, and they're up in pre-market this morning, so doing well. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Not well. I did Goldman Sachs yesterday. Stock opened up at $3.73.52, closed at $3.61, which is like a 3% difference. Bank stocks never, they started lower and they never recovered yesterday.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.